Welcome, everybody. My name is Mina Jane. I'm the director of the Ashland Public Library, and I'm here with one of my very favorite programs and people, Jane Healey. We're talking about book recommendations for historical fiction, if you are a fan. And I think, Jane, you've been converting people like person by person in this
Oh,
last year. It's pretty amazing.
that's
Um,
great to hear.
so before we get started, I would say thanks to the Friends of the Ashland Public Library for supporting all of our programs, as well as to Jane for letting us share this program with other libraries, because of course, when libraries work together, we make magic. If you have questions, feel free to put them in the Q&A, but just chat with each other through the chat if you would like. I will be asking for what you've been reading and enjoying lately, so please put that in the chat, and I will include that in my recap email that I send out to everybody after the talk. Um, I'm going to just say one really quick thing is Jane's book just came out last week, The Women of Arlington Hall. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And I went to her opening night, like the launch party, and okay, the book was great. The book is great. But I really have to say the cookies that somebody made for that show.
So good.
I
Yeah.
know. I was telling Jane that I shared mine with my husband and I was kind of regretting it, but don't tell him that. Um, so
I have
Jane,
to I have to give a shout out. The Sweet Spot Bakery in Melrose, Massachusetts made book cover cookies and they are the best. Sweet Spot's the best. I love them. So a little plug for them.
well, I would have ordered mine if I had known they were so good. But thank you for being here and doing this as always, because I know you're super, super busy. And I know you have some really good recommendations today. So let's get started. What is first up on the dock? I'm going to share my screen so I can show it.
Yeah, so the first one is The Last Assignment by Erica Roebuck. Erica is a friend. Do you have that one up?
I do, but it's not the first one that you had on the thing. So I will find it. The last assignment, not a problem. Yes, Erica Roebuck.
Yes, sorry about that. I printed this out and it might be a little bit in the wrong order. So this one is, she writes biographical fiction. She's a great writer. She wrote an biographical fiction about the spy, Virginia Hall, in World War II, and several others. But this one's Manhattan, 1956, true story of photojournalist Georgette Dickey Chappelle. Her nickname was Dickey, and she was a photojournalist and she chronicled multiple war zones, including the Cuban Revolution, the Hungarian Revolution, and the Vietnam War. And this book's getting lots of buzz, and I'm hoping to have her on the podcast to talk about it. I'm sure it's going to be great. And that comes out August 19th.
Okay. And this seems a little bit different for you. Like what attracted you to this book?
Erica, honestly, the author, I know she's a great writer. I've read most of her books, I think, at this point. So I just think that, yeah, and biographical fiction is, I think, very hard to write because you have to stay true to the person and their timeline and their storyline. And Erica does a really good job at that.
Mhm.
So that's really what true. And also, I kind of vaguely heard of this photojournalist, but I didn't know much about her. So it's always nice to learn about a new woman in history.
Mhm. And I know that you had said that when you wrote a biographical historical novel, the last one, not this one, it was really, really hard. So you wouldn't probably do it again anytime soon.
Yeah, I found it incredibly difficult. And the way I describe it is like you can't color outside the lines, you know what I mean? Because the main character in Goodnight from Paris, Drew Leighton Tartier, was a real person. And I really had to stick to the facts of her story as much as possible. And I found that I felt like it really boxed me in terms of creativity. So why I'm really impressed when people do it well. People like
Mhm.
Erica do it really well.
Mhm. And is that something that she normally writes, biographical nonfiction or biographical historical fiction, or is that outside of her wheelhouse as well?
No, she's done a number of these. I think the most recent one is Virginia Hall, The Invisible Woman. That's one of
Mm.
the most recent ones. She's had at least one or two others since that, but that one was excellent. I should have looked up like at the top of my head. You know, when I speak, I like lose, like I'm focusing on you and not on her Erica's backlist. But yeah, she's excellent historical fiction writer.
That's right. Well, if anybody is looking for backlists, the website that I use is called Fantastic Fiction, and it will tell you all the books an author has written in order. So I use
Mm-hmm.
that all the time. And yeah, I'm going to have to look up Erica because I mean the time frame, the historical aspect, the actual biographical person. Did she have an author's note?
I haven't read it yet. This one I'm gonna get a copy soon. I haven't read it yet. I'm sure she does. She always does great author's notes in the back. Those are the best. But I love that.
Good, because we talked about that you absolutely have to have an author's note in historical fiction because people need to know what is real and what is sort of made up.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so let's see what's next.
I have The First Witch of Boston by Andrea Catalano. Is that what you have next?
No, but I cannot wait to read this book. When I saw it on your list, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to read this book.
I know. I mean, I love everything like Salem witch history and I always love supporting a debut. This book
Mhm.
comes out September 1st, but it's out on Amazon now. If you have Prime, you can get it for free. And it's based on true events and historical records. The story centers on Margaret Jones, the first woman executed for witchcraft in Boston in 1648. And like anything to do with witchcraft and Salem and Boston, and it's getting really good reviews. And yeah, I'm super excited about this one. I haven't read it yet either, but yeah, it's it's good. I'm sorry if I sent you the wrong order, by the way. I didn't mean to throw you off. I just we'll roll
I'm
with it.
I can roll with it. I'm actually really curious about this book because, we've talked about the World War II sort of fatigue about writing and reading about it. Do you think that, like the witches are next? Because like, it seems like Salem has become like this massive visitors place, and people are interested in the history, not just partying. So, is this a thing? Like, do you think?
Oh, you think it's going to be like more of a trend now, like the Salem witch history? Yeah, I don't know. I know Eric. I mean, Andrea's been working on this for a while, so I don't think she
Mm,
was like trying to, hit the zeitgeist or anything. But you're right. I mean, I don't even go to like we live pretty close to Salem, and we go all the time. Like my daughters and I love it up there, but we don't even go in October because it's so insane. Like I don't even go because mayhem.
mhm,
But I think it's such an American story. It's such a Boston story, the whole Salem lore. So I'm excited to see what she did with this.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, anything local for me, it's really interesting because it brings like the where I live sort of to life. So I love that.
Yes.
Okay, so what is up next?
Next, to surprise you, The Book of Lost Hours by Healey Gelfuso.
Okay. Oh, this is a beautiful cover. You'll see in a second as I pull it up. Ah, it's gorgeous.
That is really beautiful. This one's out today.
Hmm.
And the thing that intrigued me about this one, it's blending World War II history with magical realism. This novel follows Lisbeth Levy, hidden in a mystical time space during Kristallnacht. That was the night of broken glass during World War II, where Jews were massacred. And she attempts to save lost memories from destruction. Her quest entangles her with Cold War intrigue and a unique program run by the CIA decades later, spanning Nuremberg, Boston, and metaphysical realms. I'm like, um, what a unique premise for a story. I don't read a lot of like magical realism, like
Hmm.
books with magical realism. But when it's done well, I think it's just great. So yeah, I'm excited to see what she does with this.
Hmm. Well, how do those two things interact, magical realism and historical fiction? Because like my perception of reading historical fiction is people want to learn the history. So when then you add magic into it, and it adds a totally different dimension to it.
Right. And some people, if they're true like purists with historical fiction, they're like shy away from that. But I think that it can add like a really fun, interesting element. And I think right now historical fiction is kind of not like in a downturn, but like definitely a little bit like World War II is like we've talked about is kind of people there's a lot of World War II out there. So this is World War II, but with a twist. And I think that's a good thing. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what she did.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And what I said about the cover is it's just so simple, it's
Yeah.
just with the little clock in the middle. And I just love that. I think that somebody like didn't overdo it because like I feel like a lot of books now are just have so much going on the covers. And
Yes, I totally agree.
so-
I want to give a shout out to a great magical realism slash historical fiction that I love is The Love Elixir of Augusta Stern by Linda Loigman.
okay.
Yeah, she's a friend and she's a great, great writer. And that's a really great read. It's based on Jewish tenement history in New York City, but also has a little bit of a magical vibe, and she does it really well.
Wow. What was it called again? I'm trying to pull up the cover.
I want to make sure I think I got it right. The Love Elixir of Augusta Stern.
Okay. Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Kathleen's got it. I got it. Okay. If you all want to see the cover, I'm going to pull it up just in a second. It looks so cute.
Yeah, I think it's just a really, yeah, it's a kind of an uplifting message, and just a really great read. She's a
Hmm.
great writer.
Nice. Okay, so I'll add that to my thing. I spelled it wrong too, so I love I appreciate you in the audience for helping me
I
out.
know.
And I'm
Thank you.
really enjoying all of the lists that you all are putting out of things that you're reading. That is one of you, Patricia. Oh my gosh, she's got like a year's worth of audiobooks here.
Impressive.
I
I know.
I will include that in the recap email, but like feel free to keep adding on to that list. It doesn't have to be historical fiction, just whatever you're reading and enjoying. So yeah, what is next after well, we went off track a little bit, but
So this one is another debut because I like to support debuts, and I actually met Sharon Kurtzman, the author, at a writers retreat. This is the Lost Baker of Vienna, and
oh,
yeah, and so this is so Sharon has been working on this story for a while. It's based on her family history. Her mother was a Holocaust survivor, and it's about a baker in Vienna in 1946, a Jewish baker in Vienna, and it's just a really beautiful tribute to her family history, and also just a really beautiful story. So I'll read the blurb. Inspired by the author's family history, the dual timeline novel links Vienna in 46 and the present day Chana Rosenzweig, a Holocaust survivor who seeks stability through baking, while her descendant Zoe uncovers family secrets in modern times, examining themes of survival, love, and generational trauma.
hmm. What what was the name of the Love Elixir book again? I'll just look it up.
Oh, of Augusta Stern, Augusta. Yeah,
Okay, people are looking for it. Okay.
thank
Um,
you.
yes, I will send out a list of everything that Jane recommends, as well as everything that is being recommended in the chat. So don't worry about like having to write everything down furiously, but I will add in this one. Did you have the cover for that one, the one that you just spoke about?
I do. Let me see if I can get a better picture of it for people because I know the lighting in here is not awesome. Okay, you can get a pretty good look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Oh, not to keep bringing it up, but the Women of Arlington have very similar cover with the women in, was it red walking away or was yours blue?
Not red, Mina. I said no red.
No.
There's a lot of red. No, yeah, women. Mine was blue coat. That's why I wore a blue dress to my launch event. Yeah.
That's
So,
right. You
but
look
yeah,
you.
that's like a total trend is like women walking away. Bookstores do a whole thing on it. It's pretty funny. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you went with the no red because obviously we would, we don't want to confuse you with anybody, but
That's
it
right.
definitely is a trend. Like I've seen that in so many historical fiction books, and but I haven't seen anything taking its place.
Mm-mm. No, but I like seeing like that book of Lost Hours that you just pulled up. I'm like, I like the clean simplicity of those type of covers. I like that. I think if we could go in that direction a little more, that'd be a good thing.
Yeah, well, that everybody here probably knows that I read romance, and they went towards those cartoony covers, which
Yes.
don't tell you anything about the story. So I find them very frustrating. I just, or they'll change a book that's very into something completely different because they went with that cartoony cover. So I'm really glad that historical fiction hasn't gone in that direction.
Oh, I totally agree. And the thing about those cartoon covers is like some of those books are like pretty filthy. Like, and I'm always like, what if a kid picked that up? I always think about that. I'm like, it looks like a young adult or middle grade book, but it is not.
No.
So,
There was one book I remember, and I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but like, but the original cover was like this like tattooed guy, obviously like on a Harley or something, and then they made it a cartoon cover, and it was completely different, completely different.
yeah, yeah.
So, anyways, that's an aside because we love covers, we love talking about them.
Mhm.
So anyways, let's go on to the next one because I think that we've gotten to some really good ones. And I can't wait to get to the last one because it's one of my favorite writers.
Oh, me too. Okay. Glorious Ruins by Judith Little is the one I have next.
Okay. And I am sharing that so
Okay.
everybody can see.
So I'm excited about this one because Paris 1920s, it's such an amazing, I know that's actually, I love that color cover. That's also a trend though with the like side face thing, but that's a good cover. And I love it's Paris 1920s, Coco Chanel and her friendship with the socialite Misha Sert. Amid art, power, and love and rivalry, they confront challenges and shifting alliances in the city's scandalous artistic circles. I mean, yeah, I love like anything, Paris history, especially like 1920s was a really good, interesting time with artists and writers. And Coco Chanel is really kind of a somewhat controversial character in Parisian history, in French history because of her alliances during World War II. And so, yeah, I'm excited for this one.
Oh, good. Because I also love the Paris connection. And the reason I really like that cover too was because, she looks so together, but you can see in the shadow that there's bad stuff coming, like in the
Yes,
shadow of her outfit, right? And so
right.
like
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah, there's
like
some
that.
hints. I'm sorry. I'm like making sure we're in the right order. Sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. So as I want to remind everybody, I am going to send you the list. It includes all of the past programs that Jane has done. So you'll get this long list and you will be a happy camper for many, many months. Okay. So yeah, glorious ruins. But also we have a few minutes. I want to make sure that we talk about this fact that a lot of the books that you recommend, not just today, but generally, are about women and their stories. And same with like your own book, Women with Arlington Hall. What what really kind of draws you to those stories?
For me, I think it's just because I've often asked the question like, well, would you ever write contemporary fiction? And never say never, but I like finding an interesting person or an event, or a time, anything time period. I like history as a jumping off point, and particularly like lesser known stories of women in history. And so for me, that's the draw. If I can find, I'm circling around some ideas for the next book right now, and if I can find a really juicy lesser known story that hasn't been covered that much, that's the best. And I love writing about those women. I love women who take kind of the path not traveled or the path less traveled, in terms of where they are in history. So
Mhm.
that's what really drew me to the Women of Arlington Hall. These women, it was still late 1940s, early 1950s, and they did not choose to just get married right out of high school and have a family. And not that there was anything wrong with that, but like they chose a career and moved away from their families, and a very sophisticated career, a very difficult career. And so that was one of the things that drew me to them.
Mhm. But you've also focused on women writers, women writing about women in history. Is that a thing, or is there just not that many men writing historical fiction? We've talked about this before, but even when we were talking about this a little bit earlier, is I'm getting ready to do an online auction in the fall, and the majority of my authors are women. So
Yeah,
is that just a thing right now?
I think in commercial historical fiction that it's definitely, like I wouldn't say the majority, but it's definitely because the audience skews female. There's a lot of female historical fiction authors. Yeah, I think that's part of it. And yeah, I mean, I think that when I was looking for this list, when I try to pick the list, I try to do debuts and more established authors, and I try to do different aspects of history. I try to pick some diverse authors as well. So yeah, it ultimately it ends up being a pretty female author heavy list. I'll try to mix it up a little bit. It's like the
Oh,
podcast too.
no, no, no.
Um,
It's just interesting to me like those trends of like, who's writing what when. And I think
yeah, yeah,
I personally think, and people can certainly object to this, is I think it's because a lot of those stories are starting to be unhidden. So there's more
Mm-hmm.
meat there for
Yeah.
women writers, and that's just a thought.
Yeah, I would agree with that too, for sure.
Oh, okay, so Denise agrees that female authors are right. I mean, male authors are
Thank
too,
you,
but I,
Denise.
I just think it's maybe the time for women to like kind of shine. Okay, so let's get to this one because this is also I love this author so much. Um,
Is, is it Madeline Martin? Is that who you have
yes,
next? Okay,
yep.
so yeah, she's super nice, so prolific and talented. The Secret Book Society by Madeline Martin. I feel like one of the trends I'm seeing in historical fiction right now is like book clubs, secret libraries, like bookstores. But this one is Victorian London's Lady Duxbury hosts a clandestine book club for three women trapped by social norms. Through friendship and shared secrets, they find courage, change, and empowerment beyond unhappy marriages. And she just cranks them out, and she's very very talented. And I'm looking forward to this one. Comes out August 26th.
hmm Yeah, and she's so smart, I think. Like that well, I
Mm-hmm.
guess that's the thing about like if you're gonna be writing, you're gonna be writing smart. And I feel like she does. Like she doesn't just like pick up on like we were talking about trends or anything like that. She really kind of hones in on what she's really good at.
Yeah,
So
I was in one of the, I was talking to Eliza Knight, who's a good friend of hers, also a great author today. And when I had Madeline on the podcast on my podcast, um, she was talking about how like she was taking, she hired a writing coach for this latest book, and or how she took a course. And I was so inspired by that because I tried to do that before I wrote The Women of Arlington Hall. Like just kind of took myself back to school. And I think that like it was such a lesson for me. Like I'm like, oh, she's farther along in her writing career, and it shows like you have to like constantly be learning and persisting, and I think that she's one of those career novelists that really inspire me.
mhm. Now she and you are both career novelists, but one of the things you said earlier is that you really like to highlight debut authors. And I'm, I've had this conversation with my book club a lot about debut authors and the fact that they sometimes aren't super good yet. They're getting there, but they're not there yet. And so it's unfortunate when readers give up on debut authors because they didn't get the right advice on how best to write their book. Have you found that as well?
Yeah, I think yeah, I definitely. I mean, I looking back at my first novel, which I'm proud of, but it would be a very different novel today, 8 years later
Mhm.
than it was. And I think that because my learning curve was where it was at, and yeah, I agree. I think it's harder than ever for debut novelists to break through. And you're right. If they get some momentum and then the book does not live up to people's expectations of it, that can be really hard to come back from. And
Mhm.
it can and sometimes the publishers don't invest in them as a result, which I find really unfortunate. It's really hard to break in, and then it's really hard to kind of maintain that pace and momentum.
Yeah, and because we'd been talking about this before we started, is that there was a book recently that was a big TikTok sensation, and then it turned out to not be that great yet.
Yeah,
It will
no.
be, but it wasn't. So like people fall on that wagon, and then they might not follow that author anymore. And it's very unfair to the author, I think, to create those kind of unrealistic expectations.
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
So, anyways, my 2 cents. I just wanted your opinion on my 2 cents.
Yep, yep.
Okay, so we're getting to the final book, and again, favorite author. I love this cover, and I can't wait for you to talk about it.
Oh, wait a minute. You're talking about Philippa Gregory.
Yes.
Okay. Like, yes, The Boleyn Trader by Philippa Gregory. This comes out October 14th, 2025. I one of my favorite historical fiction books of all time is The Other Boleyn Girl. Like I still love that one, and I love some of Philippa Gregory's other ones. And when I saw this was coming out, I like gasped because I'm like, I haven't read a Philippa Gregory book in a while, but I can't wait to read this one. Like I'm so excited. So just to give you a little synopsis, Gregory returns to the Tudor court, telling the story of Jane Boleyn, Viscountess Rochford, a woman widely vilified for her role in the downfall and execution of George and Anne Boleyn. Portraying Jane as more than a traitor, Gregory suggests she may have been a spy and confidant in Thomas Cromwell's network. I'm like, I'm sold. I'm like so excited for that.
Well, and we were, like I was saying, like I love Philippa Gregory because I feel like there's very few authors that do that period as well as she does. Like that
Yeah.
deep research, the interesting characters, the well-written plots.
Oh,
I just
yeah. Every time I'm just like, yeah, so, so good. Yeah. Yeah.
so because she's been like an icon for so long, like she's been writing. The other Boleyn Girl must have come out at least 20 years ago, right?
Yeah. I was going to say it has to be like 20 years ago. And she's another one, like so prolific. I don't like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And
Hmm.
like you said, it's like she cranks them out, but then it's like the research is so deep, like the character development, everything is so well, the narrative structure, it's all so good. Yeah.
It is so. And you said this is coming out October 25th?
October, I have October 14th. Is that,
Oh, okay. All right. No, I just heard
it
it wrong.
might have changed.
Yeah, because I will definitely be putting that on my TBR pile. But I have like one last question for you. Like when you become this prolific, like Philippa Gregory, or even you've now got like 7, 8, 9 books out. Do you feel like you're stuck in doing historical fiction, or can you branch out? I mean, like Philippa Gregory, like she'll always be known for the Boleyns.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that I've seen just in the past couple of years, I've seen several historical fiction authors pivot to something else, because I feel like the historical fiction genre is a little soft right now. So yeah, I think you can. I mean, it's definitely. I'm planning on staying in my lane, frankly, because that's what I like. And but yeah, I think that I have a friend who is doing like a mystery thriller now, and like someone else is doing romance, and someone else is doing like what do they call it, like the cozy mystery, so yeah, I think you can. I don't think it's always easy. Some of them are doing it under a different name, different pen name. Some of them are not and using their own brand, but yeah,
Hmm.
it
Well,
happens.
I love that because I think that you should go where the muse leads you, right? Like if you're not feeling it for historical fiction, write a mystery. But like your book, again, and Philippa's and some of these books that we talked about have mysteries in them. So like there's aspects of all of that in a lot of historical fiction. And Ivy is asking, what's a cozy mystery? How would you describe a cozy mystery?
I would describe it as like it's like the equivalent of like Angela Lansbury Murder She Wrote, like not a lot of violence and gore, somewhat of an uplifting ending. Yeah. So
Hmm.
something like a fun, lighter mystery read
Hmm.
than like I don't know, like Tana French. Like that's she's a great mystery writer, but she is dark,
Yeah,
so
yeah, definitely. And like the Angela Lansbury, like Murder She Wrote, just makes you want to not ever live in some place called Cabot Cove.
I know, it's so funny. Oh, the Thursday Murder Club or the Maid series. Exactly, Denise. Like that. I love the Maid. I haven't read her other books, but yeah, that's exactly right.
Yep. And The Maid was
So
written by Nita Prose, who's also fantastic. Um,
yes,
so it's a little bit lighthearted, like Nikki said, not blood and guts. So that's interesting. That's really it's nice that you can do what, like I said, go where the muse goes with you. I know you have another program at 7, so I'm going to let you go. But thank you so much for making a time this month when I know you're so busy, and for all these wonderful recommendations that I cannot wait to read.
and I am so excited too. And thank you, Mina, for all of your support and for hosting me on the virtual event last week and for coming to my live event. You're the best, and I'm so so grateful. So thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Well, I got an amazing cookie out of it, so
There you go.
yeah, good for me. Thank you all
And
for
Eve,
joining us and all of your wonderful recommendations. I will be sending out that list very soon, probably later tonight. Jane, good luck with your next thing, and I'll talk to you soon.
all right, thank you. Thanks everyone. Have a good night.
Good night, everyone.